In the headlines, devastation as Hurricane Melissa moves on from Jamaica. Continued growth reported on the Barbados economy. Several honored for their work in the community of Christchurch. And in sports, the Windies defend 149 to earn a series win against Bangladesh.
The headline news is brought to you by National Transformation Initiative, shaping the Starbajan.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tisha Hines with the details to the news. We begin tonight with the aftermath of destruction wrought by Hurricane Melissa. That system slammed into Jamaica yesterday as a Category 5 hurricane, bearing winds in excess of 200 miles per hour. Joining us from Kingston is Barbadian journalist Gerard Morris Seeley. He's been with us over the last few days, and tonight he joins us again to share post Hurricane Melissa. Good evening to you, Gerard. Could you describe for us the level of destruction there in Jamaica?
Hi, good evening, Tisha. Good evening to Barbadians. Well, I don't even know where to start. The fact is that over the southwestern side of the island, where the eye would have passed over, there's complete devastation. I mean, worst of all, St. Elizabeth, Black River has completely been flattened. The town area, as the Minister for Agriculture would put it, there's no way to access Santa Cruz at this moment in time because of all the devastation that was caused. Now, the hospitals, schools have been flattened, basically. Lots of history gone with it. The oldest church in St. Elizabeth, as you see the Prime Minister there, touring these places, completely gone, and now they have to focus on rebuilding. So the government has really been on the ground today, trying to get a clear understanding of what has really happened and how badly these areas have been affected. And not only St. Elizabeth, but Westmoreland. I have friends down there who I'm still not able to get into contact with. Also parts of Hanover, parts of Trelawney as well have been completely devastated by this Category 5 hurricane that has now gone past Jamaica.
How are authorities responding? Are there any relief efforts that are underway that you know of, either from agencies on the ground or those that are coming in to help?
Yeah, well, I mean, all day it has been a relief effort, a collective effort between National Works Agency, of course, the JDF, JCF, which are the law enforcement entities, as well as obviously the ministers on the ground also assisting. There has been a lot of community work as well, especially in the Kingston and St. Andrew area. The communities this morning, when I was driving down to Half a Tree, they were out and about and trying to bring back some kind of normalcy to their part of the island, which was affected, but not as badly affected as over in the western areas. So yeah, it has been an all-around cleanup effort, and they've started to mobilize these areas, get a lot of the restoration done to cell service. Flow has been doing that, Digicel as well, giving away free data to those who may need it to reach out to their families. So it has been an all-around effort so far, and I'm sure that will continue into the next coming days and the few months to come, as well as into however long it would take to rebuild.
I know this might be a little premature, but has there been a pronouncement of any number at all in terms of what this destruction will cost Jamaica?
Well, there hasn't been any accurate number, but the estimation we're expecting to come out a little bit later on. But we are expecting, though, the professionals who are the economists, they are expecting a number in the billions, that's Jamaican dollars. But the fact is that it will take a lot of money. The government will have to do a lot of reallocation. The good thing about it, though, is that the catastrophe bonds, which were set by Dr. Nigel Clark, who is the former Minister of Finance, he has now gone on to become a deputy managing director at the IMF. He had put that into place, and they can draw anywhere between 45 million to 150 million US dollars to help with the efforts, plus the money coming in from the pledges all around. We have obviously from the government's website, supportjamaica.gov.jm, and then you have the Bob Marley Foundation as well as other foundations that are mobilizing their own relief efforts. With all that money coming in, we're hoping that it will be able to offset some of the costs. The professionals as well that I've heard, that I've spoken to, they are expecting that there would be a little bit of contraction in Jamaica's economy for the next coming quarters. But, you know, with the fact that they've put insurance in place, basically, it shouldn't be too expensive for the government of Jamaica.
I want to thank you so much, Gerard Morris-Seeley, Barbadian journalist in Jamaica, reporting for us. Meanwhile, Jamaica's Minister of Transport, Telecommunications and Energy, Darrell Vaz, says teams are currently on the ground assessing damage and working to restore communication on the island. This after Hurricane Melissa made landfall yesterday. Part of the island has been devastated, including a major hospital, schools, as well as airports. Vaz says it is time to build again.
Hopefully get okay to open the airport by late this afternoon, early tomorrow morning for relief flights. I'll then be flying down to Montego Bay to do an assessment of the Montego Bay Airport as well as the Ian Fleming Airport. It is likely that we'll have to use Norway and Manley as the base for the immediate, along with the lesser plane sizes into Ian Fleming, which is closer to the western area, and see what the return time for Montego Bay Airport is.
We'll have more on the destruction in Jamaica and other Caribbean countries a little later, but now back here at home, the Barbados economy continues its growth trajectory. In fact, the central bank governor has revealed that it has grown by 2.7%. He was speaking to the media this morning as he gave a review of the island's economy over the past 9 months. Our Trevor Thorpe reports.
The Barbados economy has grown by 2.7%. According to Central Bank Governor Dr. Kevin Greenidge, the expansion was driven by a rebound in tourism as well as solid activity in the non-financial sectors, including events such as Crop Over and Carry Festa. He says that long-term tourist arrivals are increasing.
The US market continued to lead the growth, and that accounted for more than a third of the total arrivals, with that market expanding by about 12%. And that reflected additional flights from our key markets within the U.S., Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and Atlanta. One of our markets, one of the smaller markets, Europe, we saw expansion of 15.5%, and that's on the back of stronger marketing. And CARICOM grew by 8.2%, and that reflected expanded regional airlift capacity.
Dr. Greenidge also says the growth in the economy came from across multiple sectors.
This is probably one of the broad-based expansion we've had in a while, with activity rising across. The performance on the tourism contributed increased tourism GDP, or GDP by 9%, the value added in the tourism sector. In agriculture sector grew by 10.1%. And that's on the back of higher root crops, food and vegetables, chicken and other meat output. Those outpaced declines in milk and declines in fish production.
The central bank governor says commodity prices would continue to contain output pressures, but risks remain.
We expect it to continue on the down solid path, continue strong fiscal performance, revenues and discipline with respect to spending will help to drive that. Along with the growth, we drive that towards 60% by 2035-36. And I say we expect to break on the 100% by the end of this year. And that's, in our view, is sufficient to drive that, but continue to create the fiscal space necessary to get the investment that will need to be prioritized.
Looking ahead, the governor says he expects the growth momentum to continue to the end of the year.
Moving into medium term, we project 3%. Now, tourism, we expect to stay strong. We expect the construction to continue both for private and public projects. And we expect business and other services to continue to deepen their activity and expand. continue steady investment, particularly this year. This year will continue, but we expect that to continue into the medium term. Infrastructure for housing, particularly digital economy also, and those drive to support jobs, incomes, and continue to boost confidence. And that's what we want to see. And in terms of inflation, we expect inflation to remain stable. For this year, we expect the moving average to settle to the lower end of our band, closer to 1%, our band being 1 to 2.5. And over the medium term, we expect it to ease back to around 2%, supporting growth.
Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
And government is moving ahead with plans to transform the country's debt market. That's according to Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strawn. He says this means the average citizen would now have an opportunity to invest in bonds. Minister Strawn says companies with debt to issue will also be able to raise capital. He spoke about what the transformation of the debt market will mean for Barbadians while addressing the 20th annual meeting Latin America and the Caribbean, or LAC Debt Group 2025.
So what we're effectively trying to do is to reduce the minimum amount that is required for people to participate. So right now, with a savings bond or treasury bill, $500 or $1,000. Now, not everybody has $500 or $1,000 that they can pay now, but those are over a 5-year period. Our treasury bills, 90 days or 91 days or 182 days. And so what we want to do with the digital platform that's coming next year is to provide an opportunity for the average citizen, someone with $50, $75, however, whatever money you have available, to be able to go on your phone. You get the option, and you decide, okay, if I only have $50, I can put the $50, and in 91 days, I might get 52. So you get the same rate of return as somebody who has $50,000.
The LAC Debt Group's annual meeting brings together 26 debt management offices from across the region to engage in discussions on critical debt management issues. Minister Strawn says collaboration between these debt management offices is important to open up opportunities for Barbadians to participate in debt exchanges in other countries.
If they see an opportunity in any of the other countries, that they too can invest in government paper, in commercial debt instruments across Latin America. Because at the end of the day, we are seeing, for example, we know that the company that owns banks, I think is a Brazilian company, Ambev. And therefore, rather than just seeing cross-border transactions coming one way, we need to have the collaboration of the ministries of finance across the region that allows Beijing to also invest in opportunities in the Latin American space.
Well, coming up, over 40 honored for their work in the Christchurch community. A passionate plea this evening from Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs, Kirk Humphrey, as he called for urgent, united action to address domestic violence across the region. Speaking at the closing of the regional symposium to advance state responses on domestic violence, the minister declared the issue a national emergency, urging all sectors to confront the crisis at its roots. Our Deanza Roberts has a report.
Minister Humphrey began his remarks with heartfelt gratitude, but quickly turned to the deep pain behind the issue of domestic violence. He shared the story of a woman whose partner tried to kill her, highlighting how failures in the system continue to leave victims unprotected.
I was just at a funeral this morning. The person who sat very close to me carries a scar across her neck because her partner tried to kill her. And she tells the story of failure at almost every point in the system. The number of reports that she made to the police, a mother who did not believe that her boyfriend was abusive, a system that allowed the man to just be free, even after he'd gone to court a few times. And the questions that she'd asked to me at the time is like, what does it take for a woman to feel safe in Barbados?
The minister said too often survivors encounter indifference or delay from police to teachers to family members, and called for a greater accountability from all sectors.
Are we prepared to continue to fail in a way our women and our children? And are we satisfied that our systems, as they are, still leave survivors unprotected and unheard, and in many ways unconsoled too? I ask myself, will we, as I do this for myself because I'm also a minister passing legislation, we just passed the Disability Rights Bill, we passed the Child Protection Bill, we're about to pass the Elder Rights Bill. Do we pass these bills and these acts and these laws that look good and sound good, but really struggle to protect people in real life?
Humphrey stressed that passing laws is not enough, but says society must confront the family and community roots of abuse, with each stakeholder doing their part.
We have to build families as part of our core work, and that if we continue to work at the end of the branch, we got to get to the root of the problem. And regrettably, I think we've been throwing a lot of boots on the ground, and what we need, I think, is just, we heard, our roots in the ground. We need people who are serious about the work that they're doing everywhere. We need police officers who take it seriously when a woman complains. We need child protection officers who take it seriously when a child complains. We need teachers who are attentive to children who doze off in a classroom because they did not eat or because they watched their mothers and their fathers fighting all night long. We need to address it at the core. Fundamentally, this is a problem in families.
As Barbados prepares for the upcoming 16 days of activism, Minister Humphrey urged that awareness must lead to real solutions and real safety for women, children and families. He says it's time for action. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
It was a day of celebration, pride and community spirit today at State House as the President of Barbados, Her Excellency the Most Honorable Dame Sandra Mason, presented insignia awards to over 40 deserving citizens. The ceremony formed part of the We Gathering initiative for the parish, which was celebrated throughout October. Again, Deanza Roberts attended and she files this report.
Members of Parliament in the Christchurch constituency were present to witness 40 outstanding Barbadians being conferred with the honor of Pride of Barbados Award. They were recognized for their service to community, education, youth and national development. 3 persons living in the diaspora have also been honored. President Dame Sandra Mason pinned each recipient, expressing gratitude for their unwavering commitment to service and their contributions to nation building. Parliamentary Representative for Christchurch East, the Honourable Wilfred Abrams, praised the awardees for their contribution.
For the development of Barbados and for the achievement of Barbados, it didn't just come from those at the very top. It came from persons in communities who tended the wounds, whether emotional or factual, of other people in the communities. It comes from the persons at the grassroots level who are able to give a word of encouragement that might boost somebody else. It comes from those, like in the case of Lizelle Daisley, who were there selflessly given to uplift a very vulnerable category of persons in our communities.
Senator Dr. Chantal Monroe-Knight, Parliamentary Representative for Christchurch South, said this is the element of regathering that is of importance.
This is the element that really brings together what is the ethos for regathering. So all of the events are good, they work on the communities, but it's when we can send a signal to society that those who work, those who volunteer, those who give of themselves are worthy of esteem, and that we highlight in particular that volunteerism is still well and alive in Barbados. I think that is an exceptionally good thing.
The awardees were elated. Stetson Barr was honored for his excellent stewardship of the Graham Hall Park Residents Association.
Humbled and honored to be so awarded, and it's particularly significant for me because it does not relate to my professional endeavors that most of the public would be aware of, but for an aspect of my life that many other people, apart from my neighbors and my community, certainly would be aware, and that is my community service. For many years I led the Graham Hall Park Residents Association and Neighborhood Watch. It has become one of the most vibrant associations and neighborhood watches across the country.
Lisa Daisley Daniel for her work through the Safe Foundation and Construction Gateway program, along with her work in trying to eliminate domestic violence.
And in humanity, there are three key components, and that's service, service, service. No one is an island, and I certainly am not. I didn't do it on my own. So I have adopted a quote, which is, I am because we are.
And as the curtains close Friday on the month-long regathering celebrations for Christ Church, that service, passion, and community remain at the heart of who we are as Barbadians. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power In. Pause is power. And by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Damien Best joins us now for the first half of sports. Good evening, Damien.
Well, one day after naming Kyle Mears as the captain, the 14-man Barbados Pride squad for the CG United CWI Regional Super 50 tournament has been announced. The others on the team are Lenico Boucher, Craig Brathwaite, Zachary McCaskey, Jonathan Drakes, Kevin Wickham, Demetrius Richards, Shamar Springer, Kemar Smith, Dominic Drakes, Joshua Bishop, Matthew Jones, Javid Leacock, and Akeem Jordan. The Regional Super 50 will be played in Trinidad and Tobago from November 16th to 30th. Well, Amass Sporting Services Barbados Masters have qualified for the semifinals of the St. Vincent Independence International Masters T20 Festival, winning their fourth match today against the Prime Minister's 11. Playing at Stubbs, Amass Masters fielded first and kept the PM's 11 to 139 for 5. Skipper Anthony Morris took 3 for 23. In reply, Amass Masters scored 144 2 off 15.4 overs to win by 8 wickets. Owen Birch top scored a 55 not out. That included 6 4s and 2 6s. And the Barbados-based team goes into tomorrow's semis with a perfect 4-0 record when they will face D&D Auto World at 10 a.m. at Arnesville, number 2.
The owner and managing director of Modular Builds Barbados, Hardeep Singh, has promised to deliver a house in just 10 days. His company has been contracted to build 86 houses for the Hope Project in St. Lucie. Although the technology is not new, it is a first for Barbados. Singh shared further details with the Business Report.
We started this about 4 or 5 years back, but we just entered the Caribbean about 2 years ago. So it's not, see, what people have to understand is it's not new technology. It's actually quite old. It's about 20 years old. It's just not used in the Caribbean because a lot of people are scared of the hurricanes and the tropical seasons and the sun. Is the sun going to corrode the steel? But it's been proven that this galvanized GR90 graded steel doesn't rust, it can't rot. It's got the same strength as concrete, if not more. It's a lot more lightweight, it's a lot more cost effective, and the speed to build these houses are 100 times faster than blocks and cement.
The company official said 2- and 3-bedroom houses will be constructed in the St. Lucie development.
We started about an hour ago, and as you can see, we're nearly, I'd say about 70% done with the frame. So this is galvanized steel, which is coated in something called GR90. It's sea salt resistant. I'm not going to say proof because that's not the right word to actually say, but it's anti-rust corrosion resistant, which is great because we have obviously the sea salt here in Barbados. But yes, we got a great development going on here. We're very excited as the houses go up very, very quickly. So in about 10 days from now, this house will be fully complete and ready to hand over to Hope. And yeah, we're very excited to be in Barbados.
Well, some good news just before Christmas. Government has started paying out 2024 income tax returns. Now, while unable to say exactly how much money has been paid out since the process started several weeks ago, Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strawn, says Barbadians have started to receive their payments. He was speaking to the media on the sidelines of the Caribbean Debt Forum held at the Hilton Barbados Resort.
I don't have an exact number, but the people have been receiving their income tax returns. We will pay the reverse tax credits at the beginning of December, and that process will continue. Even though the law says you pay within 2 years, we actually will be paying the reverse tax credits at the beginning for 2024 at the beginning of December. A nice little Christmas boost.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power In. Pause is power. And by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Damien is back with more sporting action.
Yeah, thanks so much, Tisha. Well, Alexandra ran away with the top honours at BSAT's Dasani Powerade North Zone cross-country event yesterday at Peg Farm. 10 schools took part in the competition, with Alexandra capturing 3 titles. Crifter Games gold medalist Ashlyn Simmons won the senior girls race in 9 minutes 49.28 seconds as she led a 1-2-3 for Alexandra, while her teammate Dalen Headley took the boys senior event in 16 minutes 3.13 seconds, and Jamani Thompson the first form boys race in 8 minutes 28.69 seconds. The other winners included Emmanuel Ogis of Granny Adams in the under-15 boys event in 8 minutes 17.18 seconds. St. George Secondary's Talia Selman secured the girls contest in 9 minutes 21.38, and Providence's Quinn Narain the first form girls in 10 minutes 18.75 seconds. Well, Alpha Swim Club has emerged winners of the 6th annual Bridging the Gap Swim Meet, which was completed recently at the Aquatic Centre in Wildy. Here's a look at some of the events.
We start with the boys 9 to 10 400-meter freestyle, 7 entries going. Even Stevens for these competitors so far focus on efficient, consistent stroke mechanics. The first 100 meters always vital to set the tone, and gradually increasing the tempo in the second before upping the ante in the third. Wearing the gold cap in the middle of the pool. Lane 5 is Ati Joseph of Alpha Shark Swim Club. He was showing excellent form. Closing stages now. The finish in sight. Joseph, with lots of encouragement from the stands, will show his strength, stopping the clock in 5 minutes 06.78 seconds. Way back in second position was Khalil Patrick, 6 minutes 0.78 seconds, and third, Darry Duglin, 6 minutes 6.69 seconds. Heat 2 of the girls 11 and over 400-meter free produced the fastest time. It went to Isabella Mears of Alpha Sharks, who was hunting for the top of the podium in lane 4. The early stages was always going to be close in terms of distance, but Mears, wearing the black swimsuit, pulled ahead and created enough of a cushion that dented a late surging Layla McIntyre of Pirate Swim Club. Mears with the winning time of 4 minutes 48.50 seconds. McIntyre, a creditable second, 4 minutes 52.63, and third, Naomi Owls, 4 minutes 56.66. Into the water for the boys 11 and over now. Heat number 2, Michael Sobers of Alpha leading early on, being tracked closely by his neighbor Luke McIntyre in 5 meters out from the finish line, and Sobers was not going to concede his advantage. Strong swim from the man with the gold cap. Sobers, 4 minutes 35.31 seconds, the winning time. McIntyre in the purple cap contacts the wall for second in 4 minutes 37.02, while third went to Hamilton Yarborough in 4 minutes 48.65. We step down to the 8 and under girls 200-meter individual medley. This is Heat 2, the butterfly followed by the backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle. Emily Massey of Pirate Swim Club was looking so very good, but along the way had an error in one of the disciplines. She would finish first in this one, but it was heartbreak when the officials announced she would be disqualified. In second place, Jazz Mounter, also of Pirates, promoted to number 1 with a time of 3 minutes 46.1 seconds. While second went to Ryan Kozia, 3 minutes 51.12, and third, Canal Willie, 3 minutes 53.69 seconds. And finally, the boys' equivalent, Lucas Coppin, unattached in lane 5, and Shazari Harris of Alpha were 1 and 2 coming out of the backstroke. But Harris showed his quality in the breaststroke to surpass his rival Coppin and Keon Polius in lane 4. Who wants it the most in the freestyle component? Still anybody's race with a few meters to go. Polius with the edge. Coppin starting to fade. Now look at the late surge from Harris in the silver cap, cutting through the water like a speedboat. He wins impressively in 3 minutes 28.08 seconds. Polius second, 3 minutes 28.42, and third Coppin, 3 minutes 29.10 seconds. Lots of action at the Wilde Aquatic Center.
That's news. Thanks for viewing. Do enjoy the rest of your night.